Guilds in the World of Warcraft are a fairly large part of the game. While they are not a necessity to be in, they have a lot of benefits. They can give you a lot of things to, there are a lot of people to talk to, connections you can make, things like that. So today we are going to be talking about why I think you should join a guild for the upcoming Battle for Azeroth expansion if you're not typically in one or haven't joined one yet. So I'm just going to preface this with, this is not going to be a visual video, so if you just want to listen while you play or do something else, that's fine. So what's going on, guys? My name's Solidar. This is just a brief, I guess, video on why I think guilds in the World of Warcraft are important and why I think you should join one if you haven't already for the Battle for Azeroth expansion. So just a little bit about guilds, I guess. Guilds offer a wide range of perks and benefits, both tangible in-game, such as a faster Hearthstone recharge or a instant mail between guild members, to something that's a little more intangible, like a sense of community or belonging. Guilds typically give people a way they can band together and work together in a consistent group of players and build relationships. The thing, I've got some points on why I think guilds are important, and most of these are just things like social reasons or like ideals. So starting off, one of the biggest ones is a sense of community. Guilds give you a real feeling that you're a part of something bigger. Yes, World of Warcraft is a game, but it's still something that if you're playing it, you probably enjoy it, and you want to have fun with it. And it's nice to have people that share that interest with you. And that's one of the great things about being in a guild, is you're with a group of people that have similar interests to that, and you feel like your community. Any hobby you do outside of World of Warcraft or any part of school or work, sometimes, I mean, if you like what you do or like where you are, you know, people in school join clubs, people do stuff with their coworkers, they feel like they belong and that they're a team. And that's what a guild can give you in the World of Warcraft, is a sense of community and belonging for being with a group, you know, working together, trying to overcome obstacles, whether it's something as simple as beating your first raid boss or all the way as crazy as getting, you know, 2K or Gladiator in an arena, or killing the final boss of a mythic tier. Those are all really big things, and if you're in a community that wants to do those things, it makes it all the more easy and the more fun and enjoyable, because you're all banding together and working together. The other thing is it gives you people to talk to. It's simple, you know, some people aren't that social, and that's fine, but it's nice to have people, if you have a question or something you want to do, you can talk to them real quick. That's just my thoughts on that. I mean, why wouldn't you, if you want to have people you could talk to or get help with for stuff. The other thing is they can help you. Being in a guild can help you when you gear and you level up a character. Now, don't expect to be carried if you're gearing a character. Like, I wouldn't, don't be a fresh 110, or I guess here in a couple weeks at 120, and be asking your guild to run you through mythic dungeons or even the first heroic or mythic of the first raid, because that's not fair to anybody. The other thing is, guilds help with in-game. I mean, I know a lot of people out there live what I've heard called the pug life, where, you join a group of randoms, maybe it's a guild progressing, maybe it's just a group you make yourself, and go clear content. And while this can work, it's really hard to get a good, consistent pug where you can actually get content down. And that's the thing with being in a guild, is they'll help you down raids, or if you're want to do raided battlegrounds, it's a lot better when you've got a group of people in your guild that do raided battlegrounds together, and you can talk and you know how you all play. You can be more successful because you understand each other and know each other. I'm not saying that playing pug or playing the pug life is wrong, but that's the point of this video, once again, is to say why I think you should be in a guild. The last point, and this is a pretty good one in my opinion, is you can create meaningful friendships. I run my own guild, I'll be honest with you, and I really enjoy it, but so this may sound a little biased, but like, I've made some really good friends just in my guild. We've got good people that are kind, and people that I care about and want to, and we talk and joke around and have fun. and these people could be anywhere from New York, Virginia, India, all over the world, and they still, we still get along and still joke and have fun like we're sitting in the same room when we're in the Discord server. And I know people don't always take that seriously, but you can find a lot of good people playing this game if you have similar, if you look for it. So those are just some of my points on why I think guilds are important. And the other thing is, I guess, in BFA, guilds aren't as important with the communities feature, which is still a cross-realm kind of guild system. So just being in a guild or just a cross-realm community of people that are like-minded and have similar interests is a good thing. People always say there's less and less reason to do stuff with a guild in WoW, but I don't believe that. I feel like being in a guild gives you so many advantages outside of just tangible benefits. The amount of, I can't count them all, but I think it's a really important thing to be a part of a community, and it really makes the game a much more enjoyable and less threatening and less daunting of an experience. So now that I've gone over why I think you should be in a guild, let's talk about some things to avoid when looking for a guild. The biggest one I would avoid, this is my number one on here for my notes here for a reason, is mass invite guilds. Mass invite guilds are ones that as soon as you make a character, join a server, whatever, you get invited to a guild. You don't talk to the recruiter, you don't talk to anybody, there's a macro and you just get invited. Do not join guilds like that. They'll have 900, 800, 700 people, and you're just a number to them. They don't care who you are, why you're there, what your story is, what you want to do. They're just there to get as many numbers as they can and build a small army. The army is usually, frankly, those of us who've played the game know what these types of guilds are like. We've all been in them at least once on some new server or whatever. It's just not worth it, if you want my humble opinion. These guilds, if you leave or whatever, they don't care about you. You're just a number to them. And I'm sure there's always exceptions to the rule, but in every one of these guilds I've been in, I have been a number. And that's not what anybody wants to feel like in anything, whether you're employed, in school, playing in a guild in World of Warcraft. It's no fun to feel like you are insignificant and just another number in a roster. So that is why I think you should ignore and avoid mass invite guilds. You should also, my next point is you should avoid guilds with selfish leadership. From personal experience, I've been in a guild where I wanted to do Mythic, so I left the current guild I was in because we had differing viewpoints at the beginning of Legion, and I joined this guild, and he said the guild master and officers interviewed me and said they wanted to do Mythic. I said, that's awesome, that's what I want to do, I want to push, and I want to get some progression done. And I thought I was going to have a pretty good spot, me and a friend of mine, and suddenly the guild master started talking about how he wanted to join the number one guild on the server, and that we were going to try to merge with them. And this guild that he had made was not very old. It was a few weeks maybe. So I played with him for a while. We didn't even get to do raiding because we didn't have a team. And they did their trial raid. I wasn't there for that, but I remember him very specifically saying in his Discord message and things like that to lie about your progression, be honest, or if you've got bad progression in the past, don't tell them, because this is really important for the guild that we get this merger. Well, the thing is, the only people that really benefited from that quote-unquote merger were the officers and the guild master. I never once raided with that guild, and I soon left the guild we merged with after I realized that I was never going to be a part of that group, and I was just there to give them some numbers and be there. So the other thing you should avoid is, and this is similar to selfish guilds and things like that, is officer staff that doesn't care and that aren't accountable for their actions. Once again, back to that guild that I joined at the beginning of Legion. They didn't care, and the officers were not, they were just there to move themselves forward and to further their raiding careers and not anybody else's, and that's wrong. Another example I have is back in Warlords of Draenor. I was in a guild where the officers, if you got in an argument with them, they would demote you. Even if it was just over something, I think this is better than this, they would demote you. My a good friend of mine actually became an officer in that guild and helped raid lead. And he had an argument and a disagreement with one of the officers. Well, that officer was technically one of the original friends that was that formed the guild, and actually proceeded to demote my friend because he was standing up to him and disagreeing with his opinions. And his opinions, or in his thoughts on the situation, it was an issue with DPS and things like that, where some of their friends were too low and they were being carried, and the higher up officer didn't want to hear it and demoted my friend because he stood up to him and told him the truth. If they wanted to progress, they would have to drop these players. And that's not fair. And that officer was not held accountable for his actions. All they did was put my friend back in his position and say, oh, we're sorry, we're sorry, we're sorry, it won't happen again. Well, this officer never was reprimanded. And once again, the guild proceeded to fall apart after some other disagreements happened that I'll not go into. So being in a guild where the officer staff is not held accountable is not... You should not look for... If you find that your guild, that the officers are not accountable for what they've done, if they've done something immoral or wrong, you should not be in a guild like that. So, some other points, I guess some things those are my points of what you should avoid when you're looking for a guild. Basically, just watch the leadership, watch the players, and if you don't like the guild you join or whatever, just leave. It's fine. The other thing is, things you should look for in a guild is people that you want to talk to and get to know. That's a really important part of being in the guild, is people that are interested in you and that they have similar goals with you. If you want to PvP and be a high-end PvP, or find a high-end PvP guild. If you just want to casually PvP, just PvE on the side, or vice versa, join a guild like that. If you don't have similar goals and they don't line up, you'll never really see eye to eye. If you want to be a bleeding edge raider, which means just clearing the last boss in a mythic raid tier, you'll quickly learn that when the rest of your guild does not want to do that or does not share your views, or if you just want to do some mythic. And I've been in guilds where I just wanted to do a few bosses in mythic, and I quickly realized that was not what my guild wanted to do, and I left that guild. It was nothing personal. It was just we did not see eye to eye on that. So find a guild where you see eye to eye with what your progression goals are. Get involved and talk to people, get to know them. It may be hard at first, but you'd be amazed at how all it takes is a few conversations and you've got friends in the guild. The other thing is, if you want to know more about a guild and you see someone advertising in general or trade chat, talk to them. If you feel like you need to talk to them in Discord, talk to them in Discord. Just ask them questions, and I'm sure they'll give you their whole deal on what they want to do. And that's what I do, is I tell people what I want, my guild wants, and what we plan on doing. And if they don't agree with that, that's fine. They can find another guild. It's nothing personal, or they can join up and we can do it. And I mean, that type of stuff goes a long way in just making sure you don't get burned on the whole deal. So, I mean, that's just some stuff I wanted to go over. And the other thing with guilds, I'll go ahead and say this, is enjoy yourself. I mean, if you find a good guild, enjoy it. And the benefits of you being in one, especially with a new expansion right around the corner, are huge. You'll get knowledge, experience. People that are leveling quicker can tell you that you should avoid X, Y, and Z because of this or that. There's so many little things that you'll never realize you had until you join a guild. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope I've convince some of you that maybe play solo or that are in guilds that they're unhappy with to maybe branch out and try to find a guild that you enjoy. And if you like what I'm doing, feel free to thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to do more little videos like this for Battle for Azeroth, maybe some guides, things like that. Anyway, I will talk to you all later.